And we're live. Hi everyone, welcome to Spill the Kopi with me, CuddlyBossLady. Uh, Today we have Dr. Tengku Fadilah with us to talk on many things, um, including water safety and life saving. But welcome, Fadilah. Thank you for joining
Thank
us
you,
today.
Leah. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Um, I always start off by asking all of the guests, how did they start on this journey towards where you were today?
You're referring to the life saving, yeah?
Or anything. How did you get involved basically with the water, if you like?
Well, I was thrown in the water when I was around about 9 years old, and my first experience was the sea water in Johor Bahru. My dad was kind of very adventurous, so he did it in a regimented way. He rowed us, me and my brother, to the about 50 meters away from the Lido beach, and just threw us in the water and start instructing from the boat and telling us like start to do water trading. We managed, but after that we had 3 days of fever. But I
So
was not
shocked.
scared of water. Yeah, I was shocked, but I was not afraid of water. I had, mm, sorry, the neighbors actually doing some renovation.
So are
Um,
mine. It's fine.
okay.
Carry on.
And what happened was after that, I went on to being a competitive swimmer, and my mother was promoted to Penang from Johor, and after that I met the whole Jin gang, you and your sister, the whole MGS, and that's when my what you call competitive swimming career took off. And I think it came very naturally for Penangite then that after you reach 14 years old, you are eligible for bronze medallion, and competitive life saving was something very natural. We were very fast. We could tow very fast. So we were all basically bronze medallion when we were just 14. And so life saving is not strange for me and for many who swim. Yeah. And it was promoted through life saving competition between schools. I think you were also one
Yeah.
of my teammates. Yeah,
Yes.
and there was no. The beauty about life saving competition is there is no age group. It's quite an
No.
open thing. So we can have 3 or 4 teams, a mix of age. So as um, I think it was when I was in USM, doing my bachelor's degree. That was when um, a lady, a very kind lady, Patricia E. from Lifesaving Society, approached me, and she told me this thing that which I remember until today. She said, "In your life, you should choose one NGO that will really be meaningful and you can contribute." So I started being involved in Life Saving Society as early as 24 years old. I was going for meetings and I was following through with Life Saving Society activities. And after which I left for a short while because to pursue my studies. And I was beckoned back by the president about 8 years ago. And I thought that was just a nice time for me to contribute. I mean, truly in the management of this life saving. Yeah. So it's kind
Just
of like
to
this.
we have known each other. Yeah, everyone does. Um, we have known each other a very hello, Lenny. Very long. We won't say how long lah. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Let
because
me
you
tell you.
were yeah in between my sister and second brother.
Yeah,
But we were all swimming together
yeah, yeah,
and same school.
yeah.
Um,
Remember the song?
and don't make me sing it now. I'm not gonna sing the school song. They'll be like, Leah cannot remember. Oh, why?
Miss Chua will be
Um,
angry.
oh, Miss Chua, I
No.
remember Miss Chua, our
Okay.
discipline teacher. Oh, my renovation next door has begun.
Okay.
Oh well. So um, we are that it, like you were saying, it's like a natural progression. You know, you had learned how to swim and you were comfortable enough with the water. I don't know who's winning.
Yeah.
Um, the, you know, you're comfortable with the water, so it just seems like a natural progression to move to life saving because our coaches, it, no one
I
like, oh,
know.
cannot, you cannot do this, you must only do swimming. Everyone just kind of fell, you know, we all
Yeah.
did it at some stage or another. And I don't even remember our coaches saying anything other than, yeah, yeah, okay, go
Yeah. Yeah. And
do
it's,
it.
it's it's made easy because it's right after our usual swimming competition. There's an 1 day extra for life saving competition, so that was quite good. Yeah. Mm.
I remember doing it. Oh, where did we go? I think the last one was MS. Is it MSSN? No. Did we go MSSN?
Yeah, they don't organize that together with MSSM, but I think Life Saving Society is trying to what do you call it, organize it again right after MSSPP, and then MSSM. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Because it used to be, you know, I don't know because I grew up in Penang obviously, but you know, you had you learn to swim at some stage or another. Schools will allow you to learn how to swim. It seems
Yeah.
to be a less common these days. Um, I mean, sometimes, well, obviously due to MCO, we cannot go anywhere near water other than to Mandila, unless you're in Selangor, and then you don't know about that one. Hello, Clara.
Hi, Clara.
Um, so
Oh.
all of Fadilah's fans are here.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, so you know, why is it that you feel that water safety is very important? Not just obviously for children, but you know, any age really. Knowing and being aware of what safety is about.
This is really my own journey. Yeah. I started to teach swimming when I was in USM, when there was a request from my lecturer who wanted me to teach their children. Yeah, and you know, Leah, I did one of the most, I would say, serious thing. You know, I taught them perfect stroke. Okay, almost like Michael Phelps. Okay, but you know what? I
Because we're
forgot.
so conditioned, must be like
Yeah, we're
this.
so conditioned, yes, and we're so natural in the water. You know, um, this 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 kid was able to swim almost like run about 15 meters, good strokes. You know what? I forgot to teach him how to breathe.
Whoops. Quite an
I was wondering that why didn't you breathe? I
essential
forgot
part
that. Yeah, yeah. Because I didn't go through any course. I just taught them, strokes and what needs to be done. But I forgot to teach him how to breathe. And then it dawns upon me that swimming was such a natural thing for us. We were able to float like an otter. We were not frightened of water, and we enjoyed it tremendously. But the the turning point in my life that made me really serious about water safety was actually somewhere in 2004. 2004. I read in the newspaper there was this. I read in the newspaper a very a drowning case in Langkawi, and it happened to three siblings. They lost their lives through drowning in the swimming pool, hotel swimming pool. And what happened was, Leah,
Mm.
the parents were not were from well-to-do family, so they actually rented a chalet. They rented a chalet by the beach. And what happened was the older sibling, the sister wanted to entertain the younger two younger brothers. So I think she was around about 11, so the other one was about 9 and 7, something like that. So what they did was they sneak out of their parents' chalet in the morning and they went into the swimming pool. And at the hotel, the lifeguard was not on duty until they were about 7 o'clock because you have to clean the pool first. So the three, they found the bodies roundabout and during breakfast time. It devastated me because I just had my first child. So it devastated me and it just made me so distraught. And I just realized that children are not aware of the danger of being in the water, and some parents too. That triggered me to actually write the book on the parental guide to water safety. What you should do, what you should look at the if you look around at the facilities, what you should look for. Even to the tiles, the color of the tiles. There's some hotels that actually have blue tiles because they don't want to be. It's easy maintenance, but in actual fact, it's actually where one of the hotels in Kuala Lumpur, they couldn't find the body because they couldn't see the body because the tiles was dark blue. Yeah. And then, so that was the beginning of me getting seriously into promoting water safety. Started with that. But yeah, that was how I became quite passionate after that. And now that by then I got my PhD, and and I can start writing. So I started to advocate water safety, and ever since then, the when you become more aware and more sensitive, every single news, every single pictures of drowning victims really made me sad, you know. And majority in Malaysia, those who drowned are actually boys, teenagers, yeah, because they are very curious, yeah, they're very curious, and they challenge each other. You can see it.
I mean,
And
sometimes they do say science-wise that I don't know which part of the brain it is now. The frontal what cortex that the the switch that says this is a danger thing, or that that's when they tend to do more reckless, uh,
mm,
sort of things. Sorry to my kids, but that especially when they're in the group and then they have the whole peer thing, and
yeah,
a lot of times that
mm,
tends to push them, and they don't know how to read the water. They don't know, if it's been raining. If you go to a waterfall, sometimes the sudden, um, I don't know the scientific term right now. Just
river
all I
search,
can hear
river
is
search. Call it river
yes,
search or kepala air. Yeah.
because it can be very sudden. That's
Mm.
what people a lot of times they get caught out. Or the sea, or in ex mining pools, they think, "Ah, yeah, look okay ni," and then
Mhm.
you don't know. I remember the was it the firemen? They were trying to save
Yeah,
somebody who they had gone in, and
yeah, it was.
I think she froze.
oh, okay, we lost.
Oh, there she's back.
My internet went for a minute.
Yeah.
I blame the drilling. I just blame the drilling because I can. Yeah, so you know, people are not necessarily aware, even though with all these cases, a lot of times, they'll start talking about it, and they'll do becomes the inward, as it were, and then
Mm-mm.
right, and
Mm-mm.
then
Yeah, yeah.
um, but I mean, I know you've done was it a book? Is it a book on parental guide to water safety?
Yeah, it is actually a book published in 2005. Ah, yeah, 2005.
Is there? Well, I forgot to ask you actually where people can get it if they want to. We can post up a link or anything like that. Is it?
I get request to make it into an ebook, so I'll inform you later because
Okay.
it's always had been a hard copy thing and it's only been printed twice. And it was actually printed by the UPM publishers.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
So when yeah, we'll share that out when it's an ebook that you can
Mm-mm.
get with details when you do. I should have asked you earlier actually. I don't. maybe I just didn't drink enough coffee today. It's like, yeah. So I mean, what are some of the, you know, oh hello,
Hello.
oh Mr. So,
Hey, yes, young. That's right. Our senior, very, very senior.
don't call me very senior lah. Then he'll be like, hey, why you call me very senior?
Okay, okay lah.
All these people I grew up with, man.
Yeah.
Um, before there were some questions on life saving, or shall we just? We can still talk about the water safety. I mean, what are some of the things that would come under water safety? I mean, if you were talking to a new parent or a young person or somewhere in between, you know, what are the things would you talk to them about? I mean, water safety is not just knowing how to swim, though it is a huge component. I mean, you should know at least the very basics of knowing how to swim, but it's not just that, right? What are some of the elements of water safety?
Being water safety is actually, it can be defined as being safe in and near the body of water. So if you talk about body of water, the first thing that a person needs to know is, whether that body of water is of any risk to me. Okay, any risk to me. And you've heard of drowning cases of babies in pails, even at home,
It's
in
like what,
water tanks.
3 inches of water, or is it 3 inches?
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough to cause what they call it drowning. Yeah, and we always talk about water safety when we talk about open water, but we forgot, even when we talk about water safety, also in spas, there have been drowning cases that has not been reported but has been recorded in spas when you accidentally fall asleep or when you actually have in spas. So being safe in water is actually when once you get near any body of water, you got to make sure that the first thing you know is what kind of risk are you taking if you get nearer to it. First thing, look out for the signs, danger signs, yeah. And these danger signs can be in the form of signage. It can also be form of like the look of the water current. You can actually have a look at the color of the water. You can also look at the weather. Okay. And then after that, when you want to, you ask yourself, if you ask me now, Leah, would I save you if I know you since you were young, yeah. And if, for example, I knew you and I didn't know that you were swimmer or not, okay. Should you be in trouble in water, the last thing I would do is to jump. I would the last thing I would do is jump. Okay? I would just, I might throw you a buoy. I might throw you some ropes. I might try to hold what do you call it?
That's why you need to have the life preserver by like a pool, or they always have a safety thing there, right? So that,
Yes.
and in any case, let's say no life, because some places do not have lifeguards, or if you're out in the thing, you can use that. I mean, I know someone will ask, why can't you jump? All the movies you're like,
Yeah.
And I mean, I think also it depends. Are you trained in life saving? You have to see the situation. Even if you are a lifesaver, trained lifesaver, you have to also see.
Yeah, the Baywatch.
Too much. You have to see the conditions around you too. If you are going to, even if you are a trained lifesaver, you still also need to see the conditions of what's around you too.
True. You and being a strong swimmer does not qualify you to become a lifesaver. Just remember that. And you don't have to save. You have an option not to save a person. Jump in to save a person, and you cannot save a person alone. That's what. But what I'm saying is, Leah, you need to have this knowledge, and this knowledge is the one that we need to disseminate and to make sure people understand that. That's the reason why drowning victims, if you see, if they berkela in the what you call it, the waterfall, you will see it will be like in a chain. It won't be one person drowning. You'll be like two or three, it will involve uncle, cousins, and all that because they will start panicking and start jumping. And I've got a little secret to tell you. You know that in my car, there's always a 20-meter rope in my
If
car.
anyone has seen the boot of my car, I don't think
Mm.
floats or anything else are really. I have a Doraemon boot, but I do
Oh,
not have rope in the car.
uh,
Oh, shh.
you must have. Because you don't know when we are going to be, it will come handy. It's not to tow a car, but if should I, be picnicking somewhere, I was just thinking, so if I were to save someone and it requires me to jump in, I would definitely tie the rope around my waist and then ask someone else to be on land, or, to tie to the tree. Because by the time how strong a swimmer you are, the last instinct of a drowning victim is to push you down. That's why
Yeah,
you
especially
drown.
if they're
Wow.
panicking and da 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 da, they're not thinking
Exactly.
as straight as they would. They
Exactly.
always tell you make sure that you say no, not say you save yourself first, but it's that decision. It is very difficult. I remember during one of the triathlon events, I won't say which, where the conditions were very bad. Well, not very bad, but bad enough where a lot of people struggled, and there were a couple of cases. And you hear, you hear the call for help, and then you're swimming along. And I chose that's my, they gave you the option: do you swim with the safety buoy or not? And I chose not to because for me, okay, fine, right? Yeah, not an issue. But it was really hard because your natural instinct is, go and help someone, even
Mm.
if you are trained in lifesaving. But the conditions were such that I have nothing for them to hold on to other than myself, which is not possible. I mean, at most you just get the safety guys to head over there, but it is one of the hardest things to for you as a person, because you split second, like, God,
Mm.
your
Mm.
instinct is to help someone, right?
Mm.
So to hear all that, and then you're like, but I can't even give them my boy because I'm not carrying one this time round. And sometimes, like you said, you go to you berkelah wherever, you're not going to normally have, right? Depends on where you
Yeah,
are, right?
not equipped with
Um,
that. Yeah, not equipped with the right equipment.
yeah.
The,
So, but it is I think the human instinct is like, oh, what should we do?
yeah,
To make that choice. And I did make that choice, and you feel terrible. You do feel a bit like, oh man, but you had no choice, right? You had to think about. I mean, I could have, if I had the boy with me and you're with the person, you give them the boy, at least they have some safety thing. I can carry on swimming without one, but it's like, ugh. So I mean,
did you shout?
um,
Did you shout for help on his behalf?
the thing is, there's so many of them. We
Uh,
did with one. I think I managed to get one of the kayakers to get
mm,
there, but they were overloaded that time. But yeah,
mm,
let's not talk about that anymore.
okay.
That race. Um, yeah. So yeah, some of the questions that some have asked. What kind? I
Okay.
think Linny was asking, what kind of rope would you put in the car?
Oh well, it's the usual rope that you. What kind of rope? Yeah, Lini, you remember the rope that we always use when we throw for life saving, the nylon type, okay? The one that can easily float, yeah? Not the one that's heavy, the one that can easily float, because you must remember you don't know where you're going to save, when it will be the opportunity for you to save someone. It could be where the current is very fast and then you need the rope to be able to float just enough to reach to
To the
the
shore or the side? Yeah.
yeah, strong, sturdy enough, strong enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
remember 11/11 sale? Then we can go and get some and add it to the car that, my car
Yeah.
that has so much crap in
Yeah.
it anyway. Um,
That's so just keeping, yeah. What else to put in a car? Well, that's enough.
I mean,
You know
I
what you're
still
wearing.
have,
Yeah.
we because we do open water a lot of times, and I still have the safety buoys in my car. But it's a little hard. It's not always blown up, so you can imagine like, as you're trying to do whatever it is. But it's useful to have their buoy.
Boy.
Depends on which side of the Atlantic you're in, I think. So unless you're trained, I mean, like I said, if you're a strong swimmer but you are not familiar with what to do, or I mean, anyone, even strong swimmers can panic if you're in a situation that is difficult, or you're trying to save someone but you're not reading conditions, or you're not like you said, trained to do that. So it is important to know, like you say, you don't necessarily have to enter competitions, but knowing the very basics of what is water safety, learning how to read what's what, even basic first aid, I think all comes into it anyway.
But water safety encompasses more than just that, Leah. I mean, you're talking about even hygiene. I don't know whether you've noticed. I've noticed of parents changing diapers beside the pool, And also, when at night, I mean, we were aware, we swam at night when we were in Penang. You remember those insects that was floating? Yeah, insects that attracted all the blinking light, and Ali Cik didn't give us any chance, we just swim or swallow, right? Including the insect. Yeah.
All sorts of interesting things floated by, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a public swimming pool.
Yeah.
It built our immunity. That's what I used to say.
Yeah, that was extra protein supplementation.
Yeah, man. One of the questions was actually about the life-saving competition. Somewhere. It's not a silly question, Yasmin.
It's not. Yeah.
Questions are silly. I'll let you explain what life-saving competitions.
Yeah, well, the life-saving competition actually, it tests you on your speed and also on your technique of towing. And they gave in some challenges. For example, you have to swim with fully clothed, and then you have over your swimming costume. And when you sometimes it's 100 meters, sometimes it's 50 meters, and 50 meters towing. There will be towing chinto, which is
I remember those.
from when we start. There will be also towing with ropes or with t-shirts. Yeah, there will be also some competitions, exciting competitions. Basically, they wanted to, and points would be deducted. I remembered when we were competing there, we had to wear what do you call it? The pajamas. And the pajamas must be the pajamas with buttons. And we're looking at cotton pajamas, I don't know, different kinds of pajamas, yeah? And we must make sure that all the judge actually looked at the buttons that's on your pajamas. It must have round about 4, okay? So, the moment the whistle blow, you've got to just, take off that pajamas and then after that plunge in. But you have got to take the pajamas with you, and it will be swimming to the other end. And on the other end, there will be a victim waiting for you. And that's when you have to tow the victim back with that pajamas. So exciting.
Because you would create like the balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, to use the baju to create like a
what happens
safety
to those people? It's not so much about winning, It's about having fun. And I'm not so sure whether we actually have a medal or it's actually a team effort that, from each schools, they actually win points. Because I can't remember really. Yeah, they will be guessing my age now. I cannot remember.
I can't remember. Well, we used to win. Well, we did have. I think I still got it somewhere. Medals, but it depends on which competition, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah,
I can't remember
My battery is running out. Come on.
Yeah, Brennan, you try and pull someone. Actually, training wise, right? If you do the train, sorry, I'm getting digressing now. The train, you pegang kaki and then you try and tow them. Yeah, you try and do that over a
Yeah.
period of time.
Yeah. And drowning victims are very, very strong. Very, very strong. And during the live streaming competition, we tend to, get the best floater. We try to find among our team the best
You
floater
choose the
because
best victim.
best victim. There's actually a
You're
profession
the
called
light and
exceptional victim.
easy
Yeah,
to
I can do
carry.
very well.
Okay, you.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't
The
me.
best victim.
So,
Mm.
mm,
We're talking about floater.
floating talent, not.
Floating, yeah, apong.
Yeah, Thomas was saying. Was it Thomas saying? Thomas was saying we need life-saving skills because what? What did Thomas say? Oh,
Yes, to get to kill us.
sorry, Thomas.
Double his program next time.
See,
Mm.
you don't mess with Penang women, okay? Or half Johor, half Penang. Yeah, I mean, they still have life-saving competitions
We do, yeah.
now. I think I know the universities. Because we met a lot of people who used to do it at universities. I mean, USM is obviously pretty famous for their program,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of fun to do. You don't necessarily have to be, like I said, the most top level swimmer. So long as I think there is a certain criteria, you should be able to swim X amount and things like that. I will share from the I'll start again. Lifesaving Society of Malaysia, and hey, asking swimmers to run is like definitely in slow motion. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not.
Students
We're
cannot run
not.
as well. We practically
No.
go up in water, okay? And we don't have very good ankle to run on, because we practically grow long horizontally. Yeah, remember? Yeah.
Okay, there were some other questions that from someone. That's how to help people who are panicked in the water. I think. Uh,
Oh,
so,
yeah. How to help panic people on the water. The first thing, that's my students actually. Yeah. Hello. Thank you for asking. This is the skill that you need to know. This is the knowledge that you need to know. You need to assess whether you need to what assistance that you can actually give. You have to identify whether they are weak swimmer, meaning they can swim, except that maybe they have cramps, or maybe they are just non-swimmer. Okay, non-swimmer. So, well, Leo, the question was, how do we help?
panicked people in water, like if they're panicking, I'm
Ah,
assuming, if what do you do to, well, not say unpanic them, but if they are panicked, because to like you're saying, when they're in that zone of they're panicking, they're
yeah.
not thinking
Mm-hmm,
logically
mm-hmm,
as you would normally, if you can tell people, okay, breathe, kind of
mm-hmm,
situation. But when they're panicked, they're not necessarily gonna listen to you.
mm-hmm.
It isn't. Not that I advocate.
Yeah, what if they are in deep water? What you need to do, you know that you need to actually give them some kind of assistance. Okay, you have to have a look around, but first you have to assure the victim, because the victim will be going up and down, and the hands will go up and down. So you got to say the right words. You got to go and shout at them, say, "Relax, relax." Okay, help is coming. You can say that, shout as loud as possible, and then meanwhile, just have a look and just start to assign someone, find something, find the boy or me, while you keep on giving instructions. Yeah. Please remember why I said that you need to choose the right word, because when a person is actually bobbing up and down, don't say, don't panic, because The moment they go down, they miss the don't. When they resurface, they only hear panic. So they continue panicking. So just say, relax, relax. Help is coming. And then if you have ropes, you throw them ropes. If you have any branch or any long, what?
Floating
If they're
objects.
not that far, yeah.
Hmm.
If they're not that far, if you have noodles, for example, you can, give the noodles to them. Uh, try just remember not to what do you call it, jump in first. Okay, not to jump in first, right? um, so really
Assess the
depends on
flame.
you.
Yeah. What was the other question that I saw? From Erna, I think it is. I'm trying to encourage my friend to be confident in water and water fear. How do they be more confident in water?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, Erna. Well, the thing is right now, the best way for me, okay, whenever you want to invite someone, you yourself have got to know the skill to make them confident. That's why in the water safety, we have this thing called the watermanship. Watermanship, okay? Watermanship is teaching someone how to maneuver in water. It's very difficult for you to run forward, yeah, because you have got to learn how to cut the water. That's the reason why the best way for you to move the water through water is to be hydrodynamic. So you got to move from side to side, yeah, from side to side. So if you want to teach your friend to learn to be confident, one of the best time would be when they are uh, as when the pool is empty, or they don't have that many patron in the pool. Yeah, so the water is not too choppy.
It's
Okay,
calm.
too choppy. It's very calm. It's easier for you to teach them about water confidence, and you can start with bubble breathing. Teaching them how to put their face in the water, just like normal teaching, and then teach them how to walk in water. Yeah, walk in water,
Yep.
wade in water. So wade in water, and slowly progress to floating on the back. Being relaxed, and then after that floating, yeah, face down, yeah, doing mushroom float, coconut float, okay, and all those things. So it's actually step by step, yeah, and never challenge them to go to the deep end, and never say that you are ready. Let the confidence is built over time, yeah, confidence is built over time, and yeah, how to say,
Because it can, I mean, if you panic in water or they have this fear that they're less likely to want to try certain things. So you like you were saying, step by step and gradually. So
mm,
even if you say, oh look, now you're quite happy to walk through the water. Let's try
mm,
a little
mm,
bit of this, and then
mm,
then they themselves would say, oh okay, I can,
mm,
right?
yeah,
So rather
sure.
than okay, terus like your dad,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Generally, we don't advocate throwing them in and see how they go. No.
No, no, not
Um,
that way. Not that way. You might just scare the person off. That's the one of the regimented way that I started off with that, but fortunately it was by my dad, so I had full trust that my dad didn't want to kill me. But if it is some instructors that we paid and they start off throwing someone in the water to overcome
yeah,
fear, that could be
just the
that
opposite,
could, yeah,
right?
just the
Yeah.
opposite. Sure, boy in the water.
Yeah.
Well, the boy looks like at Baywatch.
Why
That's all
not?
right.
We can happily dive in after them. Um, oh, that's
Yeah.
good. Good
Yeah.
job. Linny was asking, obviously with the present situation, any changes in life-saving technique, would you still do that?
No. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation is definitely not the thing to do in COVID-19. And that's the reason why you notice that when in the swimming pool were opened by the ministry, the first permission was given only for competitive training, because that's to alleviate any incidences, unwanted incidences of drowning, yeah, for novices. Yeah, and I think if even swimming instruction, swimming classes is very much supervised by someone, a swimming instructor that's qualified. But otherwise, generally speaking, opening the pool to public and uh, you, yeah, mouth and mouth resuscitation. We had a recent talk by a medical person, and he had mentioned that we are not advised to do mouth to mouth resuscitation. You have a choice not to do mouth to mouth resuscitation, and if you decide to, you have got to have, that there is an equipment that is normally used during to revive someone. I cannot remember what it's called. Mm.
There's like a device that you would use rather than direct, right?
Yeah,
There's
not direct contact. Yeah, not.
I
Mm,
don't know what it's called either,
mm-mm.
but I know what you mean. It's like it's there in my
Yeah,
head.
it's almost like mask, but then it's like
It's got like a pump.
like a pump thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
pump thing. Yes. Mm,
because I know that a lot of first responders will have that in their kit these days.
yeah.
But no, it's not a reason to go shopping on the 11/11 sale to get all
Mm,
these things. But you need to be trained.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what other. Thomas is asking.
Thomas has questions.
Yes.
How do we save people we see drowning in mining pools or dredges man-made lakes? Places like Tasir Rimba and Shah Alam do not have right life-saving boards, and people swim in that lake all the time. Thomas, would you be angry if you see someone swimming in the mining pool?
They're not really supposed to, are they?
Yeah, that's the thing, First thing, if they swim in the mining pool, most probably they did some first wrong thing is to actually trespass. I'm sure there is a signage to say that you are not supposed to trespass. Once you do that, actually, there is such a thing called you ask for it. When normally somebody who's trespassed, they trespass without informing other people. That's when we cannot save them. Yeah, but in Tasik Rimba Shah Alam, I'm not so sure what was that.
It's
Not
on the edge of the forest reserve.
uh-huh. And then
And I think it's still it's like mangrove overgrown.
mm,
I think it's the next mining pool anyway.
well, the
Um,
mining pool is pose a danger here because that's this that's the what do you call it? The weeds.
the yeah,
The weeds.
and
Okay.
and they have the mine shafts right from under.
Yes, they have the Minecraft which actually, but then it will be quite deep. But the danger is actually the weeds. And previous drowning, if you notice, when they actually fish the body out, it's always like they are entwined with the weeds.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why, if, for example, something fell into the water, okay, something fell into the water, maybe something fell in the water and you need to swim. This is one of the strokes that we advise you to swim. If you are in swimming in known terrain, you have to swim breaststroke, okay? Because breaststroke, your legs are just above the water. Yeah, just above the water. Okay. Avoid swimming front crawl. When you swim front crawl, that's when you might hit the weed, and the weed might just twirl. And that's the time when you think that hungry ghost is after you. The
And then
hungry
you
ghost
panic,
pulling you down,
and then
and then you panic. Okay, when you panic. So if you need to swim in case of emergency, swim breaststroke all the time. And breaststroke is very important because breaststroke, you feel your head's above the water all the time. Okay, so I wouldn't advocate someone to swim in a lake unless you have many people there and at least someone like me who has rope to save
And the
you,
life-saving, yeah.
and all the proper life-saving equipments. Yeah. But if should Thomas be in trouble one day in then, I wait until Thomas become a little bit weak, like him drown a bit before I save him.
Just to understand, you shouldn't really do these
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Shouldn't do these things, Thomas.
Um, yeah, I mean, this is where you're supposed to assess where you
Exactly.
go, what you do. I mean, a lot of cases are
Yeah.
either the sea at a certain time or in mining pools or former mining pools. Because
And
it's
you might, sorry.
deceptively surface, it's deceptive, the
Right.
surface. It
Yeah.
looks calm, it looks
Yeah.
nice, but you don't know.
Yes. Yeah. And you might have more than one person drowning at the same time.
Which has happened before, right? And a lot
Yeah.
of people have.
Yeah. One could be a weak swimmer, one could be a non-swimmer. So the knowledge of life saving actually will help you to best decide what is the action that you need to take without going into the water first. Yeah? Without going
Yeah,
into the water.
assess the situation and then best course of
Yeah.
action. There's no jellyfish in mining pools.
This is one of the water safety thing as well, all these poisonous things, yeah, snakes, sea snakes, jellyfish, and all that could actually trigger you to have difficulty
Panic.
in water.
Mm.
Yeah, panic. Yeah. Anyone
Yeah,
who
I
has been
remember the
bitten by
sea
jellyfish
snakes.
would know. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and anyone who is not a good swimmer would panic immediately because I was stung at our Tanjung Bunga by jellyfish. It was really very painful. It was burning. I couldn't feel my left arm. Fortunately, because my swimming background, so I was quite relaxed. I was just swimming with one arm, just like what Alici asked us to do with the drills, to kick one arm, kick harder, one arm. So Alici basically saved my life, gave me the skill.
I mean, I think coaches should have the knowledge too, right? I mean, if you're working with water or
Mm-hmm.
people within water, you should have some of the basics already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's all of that. And yeah, I think, like you said, having, you know, learning how to swim actually is a life skill.
Definitely is.
Like you say, you don't necessarily have to become a competitive swimmer. You don't necessarily, have to do that. So long as you have the basics and it helps you be comfortable with water and aware, just because you're comfortable in water, that doesn't mean you have to go, simply, right? Calculated risk.
Yes.
And so I think, doing this water safety and learning to swim pretty much go hand in hand. It helps a lot.
It does. But Leah, we started off very strongly as a competitive swimmer. We learned how best to cut through water to be as fast as we can. But literally, swimming actually is just movement in water from point A to point B in whatever stroke.
Yeah.
You do not need to swim like in a competition, but you just need to be very comfortable in water. But you don't not need to learn how to swim first, then only your water safe. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like driving. It's just like driving. You do not need how to learn how to drive before you know how to be safe. When you are
On the
walking
road
by the road.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's very simple analogy. So you can teach anyone to be safe in water without swimming pool. Without swimming pool, actually. Yeah.
Do you? I mean, obviously, you mentioned the course that you had, the water safety course that you would have. How, if let's say someone was interested in taking part in this course, how would they?
Oh yeah. Well, that's an online course on water safety, and I can give you the link.
Well, you can give it to
Yeah.
me, and then I'll share it with anyone.
Yeah.
I'll post it up, and then we will share if anyone is interested in water safety, whether it's for you as a parent or coaches or um, any one of us.
Yeah.
It's always
We will,
nice to.
that water safety course is something that you can learn over when you're relaxed anytime. It actually touches on how to read the signages, your rights as your rights when you use aquatic uh, vehicles, how to read, how to calculate the risk, how to be, what do you call it? Um, Simple way of saving from land. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, yeah, that's it.
So
Mm.
I mean, water safety and life saving. It would differ from. Would it differ from pool to obviously freshwater and rivers and
Oh yeah,
sea?
yeah, yeah.
So it's all like different levels of what's needed because each situation would be uh, have different things to look out for, right?
Definitely. Swimming
Yeah, we'll
pool is
share
more
the
control.
link.
Yeah?
Oh, I think we have.
Swimming pool
Yeah,
is more control, and then when you talk about you know nature, it can change at any time. The weather, the current, you know. And the thing about river and also the sea, you will feel the different levels of what we call it, the equilibrium. Different. At the very top will be warm, and then after that it will get
it's cool,
colder,
right?
cooler, and very cold. So you, it's easier to panic when you are in the natural body of water. It's easier. Okay.
Um, so Thomas is busy today.
Thomas Watson, what is the best way to survive when water rushes down from Kepala Sungai? Kepala air, Thomas. Down areas when I've been in such an areas and water levels rise quickly, especially when a dam suddenly releases water from the top. Well,
Okay.
actually, that's a very good question. Actually, it will take some time before the Kepala air comes near you. That's when you need to read signals. The signals would be if you see the water started changing colors to brownish, and if you see more branches or branches starts to go by very fast, that's the time when you know Kepala is going to come. That's the time when you just got not. Please remember, you have very split second. When it comes, you really have no chance at all to
No,
survive
it's
because
just
you
like
will
poof.
just increase by 5 meters. Okay, so you just need to get away, pull everybody away. Yeah, that's why kepala air is difficult to survive when kepala air really comes. That
Because
is such a
it's
common.
if they don't know how to read the signs and
You don't know how to
or
design. And there will be some rumble. You can hear the rumbles. Yeah, you can hear the rumble. Sometimes it's not the dam that they let not the dam. It's actually sometimes like balak will fall across the river, and then this balak rots over time, and suddenly the balak just break, and then then
the
the
rush
sudden
of
rush of
water.
water. Yeah.
Okay, that's. I mean, like a lot of times, even though the sea, they'll go swimming in monsoon, like they'll berkelahar during monsoon season,
Mm-hmm.
and or they can't necessarily read the waves properly, or um, is it rip current? They
Quick
can't
current.
always tell because they're like, ah, I'm playing, and they're not like you said, not necessarily strong swimmers, or and that's when a lot of issues also happen, or cases and so on, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Um, I know that there are some private initiatives, well, pre-MCO, that were helping. I know in Penang, they were helping the is it B40 group, M40. I keep losing track of categories.
Yeah.
Um,
P40s.
Learning how
In
to swim
Butterworth.
and
Yeah.
yeah, with KL
Mm-mm.
and her gang.
Mm-mm.
That was incredible to watch. I mean, these
Yeah.
are, they don't necessarily have the opportunity to be able to understand, you know, what is water safety. If you guys
Yeah.
go, what do you do if,
Mm.
you pergi main-main, or even like you don't cover your pails of water or
Mm.
anything like that, especially with little ones
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. But
Um,
basically, just teaching someone, a kid, to learn how to float on their back, and confidently, that would already minimize a lot of risk. Yeah.
yeah,
Just
I mean it's a very
face up.
basic,
Yeah.
and
Just
they're like,
face up and be relaxed.
and they know
And
how
then
to
yeah,
flip.
they can
Yeah,
turn, but they can flip, and then after that, if they don't, cannot tahan, they can actually flip back, and then just make sure that they are. If they get, for example, yeah, if you get, even being a strong swimmer as we are, sometimes we tend to challenge ourselves and we swim in the river, and then the way river moves, yeah, the way river moves, and that's what I had an experience. I tried to challenge the river, okay, and then this was river Perak, Sungai Perak, okay, in Kuala Kangsar. I started from the side, and I wanted to go to the middle, to the towards the middle of the river, yeah. Immediately, I was overcome by the current, and the current brought me right in the middle, right in the middle, and it took me around about almost like 800 meters before I could swim. I could swim, try to wave myself, swim to the side, and hold on to this akar kayu, and that's how
because
strong this river current is.
and then you're
Imagine someone
exhausted.
cannot swim. Oh,
Yeah,
I was
and
not. I was not exhausted because
no,
I
but
was
if
able
you're
to
not
contact.
a
But if you're
trained
not,
swimmer, or
mm,
you don't practice a lot of times, and you're struggling and you're struggling and you're struggling, and a lot of
yeah,
times
mm,
victims are exhausted, they're tired, they
yeah,
just cannot, and then that's the end of that, right? A lot of times,
yeah.
just knowing what to do
Mm-mm. Not of the ring.
without the sword of
Yeah,
Eowyn and hobbits.
yeah,
Yeah, it is, a lot of times it is pretty much like that. It's sudden. um,
it is. It is.
Especially,
Yeah,
you have to respect Mother Nature.
definitely. You have to respect
Um,
my nature.
much
Yeah,
as we love being in any body of water. Well, not anybody.
mm,
Um, and you still have to maintain a very healthy respect for,
yes,
because
that's one.
you can't mess with Mother Nature.
Definitely. You cannot match Mother Nature. And if whenever you want to swim, just remember one thing: never ever swim alone. That's it. Never ever swim alone. Yeah. How strong a swimmer you are, never swim alone. Always tell someone that you are going to swim and you'll be back in half an hour. Always have a time. So someone will be able to, so someone, that particular person will be checking on you after half an hour while you're not
Yep.
back. Yeah. Thanks. Never swim alone. That's right. Mm.
As more so if you are outdoors, uh, river, sea, especially sea.
Exactly.
Try not to.
Yeah.
Okay, that one I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, never, especially in the sea. Um,
Especially the sea.
and
Especially at night,
yeah,
you're
or
alone.
early in
Yeah.
the
It's
morning,
in,
or yeah,
yeah. Early in the morning when there are less people. Yeah. Mm.
that's a safety rule.
That is. Yeah.
Unless you have someone accompany you. I mean, they don't necessarily have to swim with you, but you're not alone.
Yes. You're not
Um,
alone.
or they know you're account. Well, someone can account for you, or you're accountable too.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
Linny has a question, as well as I.
Long
Yep.
saving the fresh water system. Will water safety be included in the school's curriculum?
Would be
Yeah,
ideal.
they would be ideal. Yeah, they have tested. I think they have a module. They have a module that has been tested in Putrajaya. It's actually a collaboration between Kementerian Perumahan Kerajaan Tempatan and KPM. I'm not so sure what's next for them. Yeah, what's next for them. But um, I think in Form 4 Malay language book, they touched a bit on water safety, but most of these water safety effort is being done as a co-curriculum activities, not in
As
the curriculum
extra.
itself. Yeah, just
Yeah.
extra. So you're lucky if you have a teacher who's interested. You're lucky if you have a school that initiate what do you call it, a swimming and water safety club. You'll be very lucky. We are very lucky in Leah. We have MTS. I have to mention that school. Okay, that school who has yeah. We one of the reason why non-swimmers became swimmers in our school was because of that swimming club. Yeah, it was
Well, we
promoted.
started very young. I mean, obviously, I'm the youngest of four, so
Mm-hmm.
all of them went through it. You kind of follow along, and my dad and
Yeah.
mum would swim too. But yeah, I mean, the younger you are, obviously, ideally would be ideal, learning your water safety and so on. But I think you can't any age, so long as it's there. Uh, if Form 4 is much older, but yeah, like I've been saying, you start them as young as possible, and not necessarily just kids. It's the teachers themselves or parents.
Yeah. Yes,
Um,
parents as well.
that's something, and it's okay. Like I know so, some parents, and they're like, "Oh, we're too old to learn." I'm like, "Please, no, you're never too old to learn."
Never too old. And then the fact is you have to start young because children are not frightened. They're very adventurous and they don't know the risk. Adults are safer because adults know how to shout for help. Children, when they drown in the water or any bodies of water, they drown silently. By the time you realize they're just at the bottom of the pool,
It's too late. Yeah,
it's too late. It's too late. They don't struggle. They don't know how to struggle. And a drowning victim's first instinct is to swallow the water that's into the mouth. So after three swallow, they become weak. They become weak, and then after that, they will just lose consciousness. That's the beginning of being of drowning, actually. But adults are safer, actually. Like I said, they will say "tolong, tolong," and they will. Mm,
they
it's
know how to
like
vocalize.
yeah, they know how to vocalize. You're right.
But
Mm.
being younger,
So you
um,
should start young. That's one. I
yeah,
agree with
start them
Alvin. You should
young,
start young.
expose them to this knowledge a lot younger,
Yes.
um, and through that you also with those that are around them, their whether it's their teachers or their parents,
Mm-hmm.
because they're in this program or learn about it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's talk. Uh, I mean, obviously, we're talking about water safety as well, but if anyone wants to learn more about life saving, or let's say their club wants to do it, or in school, or they just want to put it together, how would one do something like that? To kind of.
I believe that there are instructors in almost every public pool. Yeah, that you can approach to ask them if they would be able to have a course on water safety. They may have their own version of water safety because there's no like proper module on water safety per se. But the same instructors as well, sometimes most often, yeah, will train them for certification of competency, meaning then that's when you actually learn how to tow, you learn about water safety, you learn about CPR, you learn about EAR, yeah, and all that. And then you get a certificate at the end of the course. And then you are considered as um, uh, uh, you understand to a certain level what is water safety, how do you save life. But bear in mind, bronze medallion, the one that is being issued by Lifesaving Society, is used to what you call it as a qualification for lifeguard to get a job. But in actual fact, life saving, the bronze medallion is actually a personal life saving certificate, like to save ourselves and mm,
Okay. Um, I mean, if they want to do the competition side, though, I
Mm.
mean, you've got different. I think lifesaving, you have pools. You also have an open water one
Yes,
as well, right? Different skills. Well, different
yes.
skill sets.
Pool lifeguards and open water. Yes, we do have both. Yeah, pool water is more is more common. Open water lifeguard is different. Yeah, this life saving competition, the life saving swimming competitions for open water is very exciting, and that includes like that running like Baywatch, got to run on the run and all that, and then save, and then but the pool life saving competitions is more straightforward, more structured. I think they run about seven or eight events only. Yeah, 8 events
It's a
only.
more, I mean, controlled environment, the pool,
Yeah,
compared to
controlled environment.
outside. Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've seen the Australian life saving competitions that they have.
Mm-hmm.
It's like crazy, crazy strong.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
very strong,
I
very
mean,
strong.
the conditions that they would have to deal with. This is the Life Saving Society of Malaysia. So if anyone wants to get more information on that, they can also get it from here, including the training or any courses. Or they also are on social media, I think, if I remember correctly, because that's where I follow. And they will mention if there are competitions. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
not this year. Um,
Yeah, not so sure.
but yeah, it's something for everyone to take a look at. And all my qualifications have since well
Yes,
retired.
yes.
Yes, I know. She keeps like, when are you going to do yours? I mean, soon.
Yeah,
It's something that is important. I mean, like you say, you don't necessarily have to do it for competitions, but you are aware, and you yourself, the very basics,
yeah.
of water safety and life saving.
Yeah.
And
Very basics
it's good
about
fun.
actually reading. It's good fun. I mean, reading signages, I mean, having an experience to tow someone using a rope, to throw, as what do you call it, to throw the ropes accurately to the victim, you don't want to keep throwing the ropes and then it doesn't reach the victim, and the victim drown at the end of the
Wait,
day.
wait, now wait.
Wait, 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 wait,
Gotta
wait,
keep
wait.
it.
Yeah, I did this
I
30
know.
years ago, can't remember now. That can be a half a day or 1 day workshop, and then some instructors do it as well. Mm.
It'll be
And
fun.
it
And
can
once
cover for
we can get
parents,
back to
like the last. So yeah, yeah, yeah. You have a
Wonder
cow.
Woman.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's worth looking into. I will share these again as a separate post for both of that at after our chit chat is over.
Mhm.
Um, and Brennan, hey Brennan, reckon life saving for aquatic environments strongly ties in children and adults in rural and remote areas. They would be possibly at a disadvantage, wouldn't they? Because access
Yeah.
to facilities and so on, and education
Yes. Yes.
opportunities, as it were.
Yes. That's the reason. That's the reason why, Leah, when I started this water safety online, is because I realized that the penetration of internet, were among the highest among these our teenagers, and they are the make the uh, largest percentage of victims, drowning victims. So the only way for me to reach out to them is to do it online. So there is no excuse
Okay.
of like they don't have a swimming pool, hence they
Or they
cannot
can't get
do
to
water
wherever it
safety.
is, right?
Yeah, the first thing that I'd like to impress upon them is never swim alone, and the last thing you should do is jump. Call for help, look around and see what you know, call around and then look for whatever gadgets you may have. If you decide that you want to be naughty, then at least have something with you. Yeah, have something with you. A boy can be in many forms. Even if ultimate that was actually advocated by the Japanese. They taught the children how to float using empty mineral water bottles. Hmm? Empty mineral water bottles. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah. And even an adult can actually float with the 1.5 liter water bottles. Yeah, face up. So,
Oh, that'd be interesting.
mm,
New training idea.
yeah, that could be that you could do that for water confidence as well. If someone is actually cannot float by themselves, slowly you can make them float with 3 bottles, and then after that 1 bottle, and then finally float on their own. Mm.
I've made them swim with baju on though.
Well, yeah, you're the cutty boss, yeah. You uh,
Well,
plastic
because
glass bottle.
back in the day,
Yes,
back in
plastic
the
bottle.
plastic, yeah. Back in the day, we didn't have drag suits and parachutes and whatnot, so baju it was.
Yes. Mm-mm.
And then they realized just how heavy baju
Yeah.
can be. You
Yeah.
don't realize. I mean, you could wear the lightest or whatever it is, but once it's waterlogged, yeah,
Exactly.
that's yeah, that adds on to. Well, you can make a float. There's a way you do
Float
it.
using your pants. Yeah.
Yeah,
In one of the certification, you need to do that. You need to do that. Yeah.
I
Mm-mm.
remember those. Yeah,
Mm.
okay. I will get back to all these things that I keep meaning to revisit and
Yeah.
requalify for, but I'll find time.
You need those people that to bring a pen each time and teach the children. Make it visible for them to see that you can actually be creative with the pens, and the pens can actually save your life. They will remember. You never know. One day they will be in a ferry, and then suddenly the ferry just decide to
Okay, so yeah, it could be anywhere. Yeah,
capsize. Yeah, anything can happen. And all they have on them is just these pens, these beach pens, and they it can save lives. Pens save
save
lives. Yeah,
lives. That's
that's
our new, new,
tagline.
new tagline for today. Pets save lives.
Yeah, yeah,
Brennan was saying tie it up with some eco campaign. Oh, the idea of the plastic bottle floating.
yeah, yeah.
That'd be
That's an
interesting.
interesting idea. You put something.
Um, that's good. Um,
Mhm.
I think we're coming to a close.
Mhm.
Any final thoughts from you to our audience, other than look out for the Parental Guide to Water Safety
Mhm.
by Fadilah.
Well,
Will be coming out
uh,
in an ebook form.
yeah, because they have been asking me to do it in the ebook so that it can reach to as many people as possible, rather than the printed ones. Nobody reads printed ones. After all, it's just a booklet. It's just run about 20 over pages, and it is in
See,
point
easy
form.
reading. It's
Easy
fine.
reading, within just 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate Leah's effort to actually bring me on the show. It's good to catch each other in a different platform. Yeah. I thank all the audience for making the time to listen a little bit about water safety, and I hope that this afternoon brings you a little bit of awareness of how water safety goes beyond just swimming. And also to start promoting knowledge on water safety, starting from your own home, yeah, being safe, and starting to be aware of uh, signages, get the skill of reading signages. Also, be aware of emergency numbers each time you are near the bodies of water, and keep talking about it. Keep talking about
Yeah,
how
build the
important
awareness in within your own circle.
within your own circle. Lifesaving Society has this uh, uh, wish that every there is a lifeguard in every household. That would be ideal. Yeah, that would
That
be
would
ideal.
be that would be the one of the best.
Yeah.
Um, well, thank you, Fadila. That was fun.
Thank you,
Very
Vanessa.
informative.
Thank you. Yeah.
Before we end, I would like to say thank you to Azizul behind the scenes,
Yeah. Thank
always
you.
bringing us.
Thank you.
And thank you to my sponsors, Swim Shop to You, Finish Swimming Malaysia, Real Out Play, and PTT Outdoor. You can get discounts on Sankbank Active and Finish products at PTT Outdoor. The discount code is CBL Sports, and Swim Shop to You for everything, pretty much. For the discount code is Dugong, so also 10% off.
Wow.
Yay. Good, very important indeed. And thank you, audience people, for
Thank you, everyone.
coming and asking questions. And
Yeah.
Thomas is in trouble apparently. Not yet. He did say he was gonna ask you the hard question, so there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Never swim alone. That's
never
right.
swim alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
And
swim alone.
pants save lives.
Yeah. Pants save life. And no skinny dipping.
Yeah, no skinny. Yes. And that's all, folks. Thank you.
Okay
Bye.
then. Bye. Bye, Leah. See you in person.